What's up, family? Welcome to another episode of Rappers in My Backyard. I hope that you had a great week. Thanks so much for tuning in and rocking with us today. You know we keep the best guests coming through the yard, and today will be no exception. So our topic today is real me. And on the grill, we're talking body art, pain, and pleasure. And you know, I love setting up every episode that lays the groundwork for an amazing conversation. So here is the quote. We're supposed to be kings, but they made us the enemy. And that comes from our guest today. And I'm going to actually ask him about that because it's a strong statement and we want him to break it down for us. So I think that sets us up nicely to talk, express, relate, and connect with our special guest today. Robbie Betts is in the backyard. What's up, family?
What's up? Thank y'all for having me. Thank you for having me. Super excited to be here.
Thanks for coming to the yard. I mean, you've been through the yard, you're part of the yard, and I'm so excited to have you today, Robbie, because we're going to talk about real me. We're going to break everything down for our audience today. So let's kick it off. The first thing that I want to ask you is what you've been up to.
Mostly getting everything I would say in a line. And when I mean that, I mean we're dealing with so much going on in our world right now.
Yeah.
Obviously, I could go so many different directions with it, but learning how to live under the new circumstances that are surrounding us all.
Yeah, that's the truth right there. I mean, I can't say it any plainer than you just said it right now. And when you say doing your best to cope with everything, how's your mental health in all this?
I mean, for us, since the beginning, we've been our ancestors come from the hardest of the hardest. So it's not like something I feel like that's really hard for me, but it is one of those things where it's like I got to learn how to make sure my business, my money, my family, all the things that are connected to me are able to cope with this and get through it in a way where it isn't harming our day-to-day activities, life, communication, health, things of that nature.
Yeah.
So lining it all up and just making sure that it's all smooth, trying to be a leader, but going into uncharted waters,
Right. And I think that's something that all of us are up against right now. The mental health is real. And like I was telling you, I just keep a song in my head so that I remind myself that, you know what, it ain't that serious and you have control over what you think and how you perceive things that happen to you in your life. So kudos for you. So, keep it gangster, keep it positive, and keep it motivated.
Yeah. One of the big things for me is exercise. I feel I've always have used it as a form of therapy. I've always used it as a form of, the saying is like when the tough gets going, something like that. The going gets tough. Tough gets going. Yeah, exactly. Always that's always been my motto to a degree. So just applying that now as an adult, and testing those waters out,
Yeah. So let's get down to how you got involved in music. Talk to us about that. What was your journey that led you to, I want to do music?
So if you are a reader or if you're into the book club, a lot of people don't know about me. I love to read. So there's a book called Mastery by Robert Greene. And in this book, it basically talks about how people become masters, right? And to ask me the question of how did you get into it, I would say it's crazy how close all of us in a weird way similarly come across our inclination or our passion through trial and error. So mine happened in 2012. We had a talent show. This was 9th grade. And in the talent show, I was like, I want to go on stage and I want to rap and I want to sing and I want to let this burning fire that I feel in my soul out. And I don't know how it's going to sound or what it's going to look like. And I wrote down a rap, and I was like, yeah, they gonna like this. They gonna like this, right? And I got to the stage. It was opening day. The curtains open. I got out. Robbie Betts, it's your, time to go. Back then, instead of Robbie Betts, it was Robbie B.
Oh,
so Robbie B, 2012. So I got out there, and I couldn't remember anything that I wrote, right?
Wow.
I was so nervous. There was all my friends, parents, teachers, my coaches. At the time, I was on the football team and the wrestling team. So everyone was there. And I was thinking in my head, like, oh, I'm going to impress them with these bars that I got. And I forgot everything. So when my moment was actually getting out there, they played the instrumental that I brought. Mm-hmm. It was a Rick Ross song. and I literally freestyled the whole thing. And when I freestyled it, this is when for me, the reason why I brought up that book, Mastery, that was my moment that I actually figured out, hey, this is what I love to do. If this is something that I could do and it would make me money and get me around the world or anything like that, it's a bonus, because just this alone is enough for me to feel fulfilled in life, right?
Right.
And I didn't just do good, I killed it. They were jumping on the bleachers. Because it was so authentic, like I was freestyling. So everyone was so surprised. The people who were doubting me, were like scratching their head, like, dang, he's actually, he's all right. You know what I mean? Like, he might just do it. He might just go all the way. And in that moment, I knew that the calling of being an entertainer was the calling for me. Yep.
Right. And what's so cool about that, a lot of people come into business, they may start as rappers, and this is a journey. So you go through different levels, you experience different things that ultimately leads you to do what's best for you.
Right.
And, rapping happens to be a lane for us. It's not necessarily the actual road we want to get on, but it's a lane that allows us to manifest through or other things that we have in our heart that we may want to do. I started out wanting to rap, and through that journey, I really realized along the journey that it was more about me doing things that using my voice for motivation and create from that standpoint. So we all find what we're supposed to find, because it just feels so good to you when you get it. You know what I mean? Just like
that. I do.
You know what it is when you feel it, when you go with your gut. So I'm glad that you did that and decided to continue forward with it. So let's talk a little bit about your music, because when I met you on the set of a video that you was shooting. It's called Bow to the King. Bow to the King. Yeah, and I know you did it back in 2006, but I think it sets us up really nicely to be able to really give our audience the core of this whole conversation. So tell us how that project came together and what did you learn from it?
So the project came together, that was going to be 2016, 2017. Right. I was introduced through friends, an investor, and with the investor, I was able to actually get in contact with Mr. Greedy Greg, and he was, the whole way that happened in 2 weeks. So I felt thrown into it, but naturally, we are the kind of people who manifest things into fruition. Right? We manifest what we want to do. And I was putting so much energy out there to be an artist that I feel like momentum pushed me in to getting almost an investor, a manager, and all this within a few weeks. And what I love about it is I was actually able to speak to industry professionals about how to enroll a song, how to basically be composed as an artist, et cetera, and did it all in 6 months. So the way it happened was really quick, but the fact that it was happening for me, I was like a kid in a candy shop, man. Oh my gosh, my dream is happening before my eyes, and I could barely sleep. I was so excited to see like what was going to happen next.
Right.
And then upon working with different producers and stuff like that, and writing my own lyrics and getting other people's input on my ideas and my perspective and persona as an artist allowed me to basically come up with the song Bow to the King. And it went with Eddie Murphy's Coming to America. The theme, like all of it was like, Robbie, you just flew from Washington DC to California. Eddie Murphy coming from Africa to America. This is the perfect kind of backdrop story. And I was like, wow, that movie was actually my story. So it was exciting to be like, that movie did millions and millions of views, and millions of people love that whole idea of, coming to America. So that was my energy. I was like, oh my gosh, video set, Black Hawk helicopter, Rolls Royce. I was like, this is unreal. So being 20, I was 19, being 19 and having that happen, it was like I said, I couldn't sleep. I don't know how else to say it. I was so excited.
Yeah.
And that's how it all came together. Yeah. 6 months.
Wow. And just share with us, when things come that quickly, after you've been waiting for it and dreaming about it, how off guard are you when things like that occur?
There's another saying that people say, like, you really don't know. A lot of people like to say, hey, I'm not going to change when I make it. I'm not going to, I'm going to switch up on my boys or the hood or things like that. But the truth is, when it happens fast like that, you are in such a growth period, especially at 19. I mean, everyone knows that you really don't even know who you are until, I'd say, 35. Then you kind of have an idea. And then in your 40s, you get a better idea. And then by 60, you're like, okay, I know who I am. but for in that stage, that growth phase for me, I was not able to actually grasp where and how I felt and all this because of the excitement. It's like adrenaline. When you have that fight or flight response, everything on the side is blurry and all you can see is what you're focused on. So that was the experience for me. I was like, man, I don't even know how to catch up right now because I'm just here. I'm present.
Yes.
And that was basically my experience with it.
Right. So you learn through that experience. Sometimes when things happen for you really fast, that's why you have to continue to just stay focused on doing the work, because the opportunity is going to present itself when you least expect it. So when you're prepared for it, that's when you can really capitalize on it and be able to truly represent who you are. So that was really a great experience for you, because as we talk about your other records, it sets up why they are a lot different than your first record. So let's talk about Real Me. And you did that one too in 2019. And I really, really love the lyrics in the song, because I feel like you moved so far beyond the artist that I met back in 2016. Because the lyrics are completely different. So, I mean, in the video, you're in front of a mirror as if to say that you're ready to look at Robbie and what realities are for you to be able to be better in whatever it is that you do. So talk to us about how you came up with Mirror, and also why it was important for you to do that record. So
Real Me, the importance of the record, it wasn't for, and I don't believe that when you love something, it's not so much that you're doing it for people, you're doing it for you, and the people that are attracted to you being you are that's your audience, those are your fans, because they're like, I want to be able to be me, and I'm watching someone be them. Like they're watching me be the real me. So it was like, I feel like and everyone feels different about this, but I feel like everyone here on earth is creating their own experience. You're creating your own reality, and it's the way that you create it is based on what you did yesterday. So what you get today is all about what you created yesterday, and where you are in the present time is an accumulation of all the decisions you've made in the past.
Yes.
And to be able to understand this concept, you kind of have to really understand that you know, this ideal of, hey, follow all the rules and you're guaranteed to end up here or wherever they say you're gonna, you know, make it,
Right.
high school, college, get a job, whatever. That's not true, because life throws so many curveballs that through those curveballs you get to see what you're made of, and that actually will show you who you are. And for me, real me was that. For me, it was like, I don't feel like I'm here on this planet in this experience to just put something out into the world that isn't going to leave some kind of I would say like something on someone's heart to help them be the real version of them. How can I be my most authentic self and contribute to everyone? And if my love is music, how can I do it through music? So the whole idea of real me was, you know, love me for the real me, love me for the real me. Don't love me for what the world is telling you I am. Love me for who I really am. And in that song, I talk about religion, politics. I talk about the way the system has presented Black males. Talk about the way parents are continuing generational curses because of what their parents did to them, to their children. Mm-hmm. It talks about the different political views and how that has cultured our culture as African Americans. I can't say it from any other culture because I'm not a part of those cultures. So it's a very controversial song. If you really listen to the lyrics, it's like, it slaps and it's like, oh man, homie's going in. But then when you sit there, it's more so one of those songs where you start getting puzzled and being like, man, this guy's really talking about something. There's so much substance in this. And that was me being my authentic self. And from, you know, high school, getting on stage and performing to now, what I've realized with myself being the real person I am, it's almost like, you know, just for sake of it, Kobe Bryant and Nipsey Hussle, Chadwick Boseman, like all these great African-American men, and the way they use their talents to present the best version of themselves to everyone, it's still my obligation to do the same thing. Yes. Especially when you come up in a culture where, I mean, if I throw statistics out there, 95 almost, between 12 and 18, 95% of Black males are already incarcerated or have already been put in the system for one reason or the other. During a time where George Floyd is, you know, that whole thing is going on, like that song happened before any of that happened, but it shows the relevance and necessity to have entertainers like that in our present day. So yes, I know that's a very long, elaborate answer, but the whole, you know, basis of the song was literally to reveal and to show my audience and the people who aren't my audience that when you're the real version of yourself and it's connected to a bigger, you know, I'm not going to go woo-woo with it, but a bigger energy, it's needed, it's necessary, and there can't be enough of it. It's like it's constantly a reminder of like, hey, we're not just here to be here, we're here to do something. And that's been our role since we got here on those slave ships. You know what I mean? We're in a situation that we didn't ask to be a part of, but we're thrown into. And now what are we going to do? You know, are we going to complain, or are we going to write our story? Because everyone has written our story for us.
But
us. It's time. Exactly. And now it's time for us to write our story. So that's real me.
Right. And that's what I got from the song. And it just showcased your growth from when I met you in 2016, because again, just like you said about it, you were 19, everything hit you really fast. In real me, you had that opportunity to look at that time and that opportunity and realize at the time that it was a great opportunity. You learned a lot from it, but that wasn't the opportunity for you because you didn't know who you were at that time. And our best qualities always are when we show who we truly are. Because how can you fake that? I can't call that in. I'm Lisa all day, every day. I can't wake up and say I want to be Samantha. I just got to be who I am. And so do you. And that's why I wanted to bring that up to our audience, because at the end of the day, you have to be who you are in all things in order to be authentic. And when you're not authentic, guess what? We know it, we see it, and we don't believe it. So stop it. Just
yes.
So
I love the passion. I love the passion and all those words.
So passionate about it. I'm so passionate about it. And that's why this podcast means so much to me, because it's motivation and it's sharing experiences and circumstances with the audience and other people that want to get into this business, to know that it's more about you being prepared and you knowing who you are more than anything else. Because if not, they will definitely make you into what they perceive you to be. And we never want to take that energy away from ourselves. So let's talk about your new single, Beat It. You did the video on the hoop court, sitting on top of the basket. I was like, he is killing it right now. So talk to us about Beat It. Was it Beat It, get out of my life? Was it Beat It, beat on this and what I'm giving? Or is it Beat It, beat it? Talk to us about where you were mentally when you wrote that lyric.
So Beat It is the precursor to the song I'm doing a song a month. So Beat It was one of the most recent. The actual most recent is All the Way, but Beat It, just to give you the idea of it, is it's beat on this thing. They call me Lil Robbie. Thought I was dead, came back like a zombie. If you ain't trying, you dying. That haunts me. The game has gone dirty. I do all the laundry. So basically, my approach.
Say that again. I give you some laundry to wash for.
So basically, it's setting it up like this. It's beat on that thing, and they call me Lil Robbie. Thought I was dead, came back like a zombie. If you ain't trying, you dying. That haunts me. The game has gone dirty. I do all the laundry. So the game, and my reference to has gone dirty, is that there's so much substance out there, right? And there's so much, I would say, regurgitated energy that is useless. What is rap? Rap is formulated to send a message, and the original people in this artistry knew that. They rapped about songs that was pushing the culture forward. You know what I mean? You know, fuck the police. Like we knew when we heard that song that energy had to be carried on, and to us being strong enough to be comfortable enough in our own situation to still do what we got to do despite the system coming down on us, right? And I'm passionate about it. So beat on that thing, and they call me Lil Robbie. Thought I was dead, came back like a zombie. I took a break from this.
Yes.
To find out the real me, right?
Right.
Got the real me locked in, right? Patience was a huge moral and virtue in it, and came back with Beat It, which brings the energy. So real me was basically like, okay, this guy knows what he is and what he's trying to do.
Yes.
Beat It is introducing the energy aspect of I can rap and I can make a song, not cuss, use the N-word or anything like that, and still make it so that people are gonna be like, yo, hey, this cat is fire. You know what I mean? Like I feel that I can play this in front of my kids and so and so. And a lot of people don't notice it doesn't have any cuss words in it. It doesn't have the N-word in it, but it still sounds like a radio song. So or something you would listen to when you're working out. So
it still hits. You don't need cuss words and destructive manner in order to convey a message. I prefer to be able to do it the other way.
Right. And I'm not at all saying that don't express your art in this genre, because it's mostly built towards freedom of expression. This is the only place where we can really say, you know, F this, F that, or yo baby mama this and that, and still be seen as like, man, that's a good song, because it's freedom of expression. So when the more, like I said, the real you, when you're being the real you, if that's a part of the real you, that's good. But for me, the real me, I want to put a product out there that when Caucasians are listening to my music, I don't got to watch them say the N-word. You know what I mean?
I know somebody's hitting you up on the phone. Tell them you busy, man.
Man, you know, it's nonstop for us. But let them know. I don't want to put that back into what I see as a society where black men don't appreciate their women, or now other races see us don't appreciate our women, so now they don't appreciate our women, and then like that's what's happening with what I said by us. You know, the game has gone dirty. I do all the laundry. I'm gonna correct by my own self, by myself. I'm gonna correct what has been wrong, and even if I can't do it in my lifetime, I'm gonna be the guy that's remembered for starting this genre of music that not only calls us to a higher calling, but is like the staple for we're better than what they made us, and we're better than what it has become, because freedom of expression and just being disrespectful are two different things.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like it's different when it's I'm expressing my situation in my situation, but when it's just, hey, all the black rappers are saying F this B word, you know, F this broad, so now we got Lil Pump and 6ix9ine over here, F this broad, N-word. It's like, hold up, y'all taking it to a different level. The game has gone dirty. I do all the laundry.
That's
you
it.
What I'm saying?
And we glad somebody's doing the laundry, because people is out here just leaving their dirty laundry all over the place, and it's just unexplainable. You got to understand and recognize the power you have with the use of words. Words matter. I remember growing up, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That's why, because you download those words. You really do. And in those moments when you want your inspiration, you pick up one of those words, one of those hurtful words. So it's just all makes sense, and it's all about what you're trying to out in the world, in a way communicate it ultimately is the way that it comes back to you. And we have to remember that when we put our artistry out there. You cannot put something out there without thinking what that means as it refers to you and where you're trying to go. You really, truly do.
I love that.
I think that sets us up nicely to go to the grill. Let's let those flames go. I love burning it up on this show on the grill, specifically with you, Robbie, because today I want to talk about body art, the pain and the pleasure. And you have some beautiful body art right now. Like, show our audience your neck right here. You got this nice, because I want to ask you what that means that you got going on all down here. I'm sure it looks tribal to me, but I may be mistaking it, but you really do make body art look good. And that's just body, y'all.
I'm gonna just try to show you guys without showing too much, but I got it's all the way, all this. See if the light can get it. So my whole chest, my back, my neck, all the way on the side of my head. It's in my hairline. It comes down to the base of, let's see if I can show y'all. Right there, the top, all the way around. So I got a full head, neck, chest, and back tattoo. It's all one piece.
Wow. That's making me feel like that rapper. My neck, my back, all like that. I mean, you just got it all over. It looks so good on you. But I have to talk to you about the pain and the pleasure involved with the whole body art game. Okay. So I know there's pain in it. I have one tattoo or one piece of beautiful body art that is honoring my mother. May she forever rest in peace. And when I look at the piece on my body, I don't feel none of the pain. I just see the beauty of the piece and what it means to me in my heart, and who is that I'm remembering through it. So tell us about the pain part of body art. So are you attracted to that, or do you not feel it at all?
I know that a lot of the ladies would probably be like, "Oh, he likes pain." That isn't the case for me. It was to do this piece $8,000 later, because it was a lot of money.
A lot of money on your fucking body.
With $8,000 later. It took me 4 years to complete this because it was so painful for me.
Wow.
So I don't have a high fat percentage. So what that means is when they put that little needle on you, it's muscle and nerves. So you ever seen the ER when they rub those things together and then they put it on you?
You up.
Every time that needle hit my sternum, I was doing a chest pump, doing a little because it was so tender. And imagine sitting there for 8-hour sessions, and eventually your pain tolerance is gone. So I couldn't even, I was shaking and shivering. The guy was like, all right, we're stopped. We're done for today. Come back. And I was dreading. I was like, man, I don't want to go back, but I paid all this money. So I need to show up. So
you need to finish this thing.
Pain wise, it took me to another threshold, I believe. The equivalent would be, if you ask me.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, the pain equivalent, if you ask me, is for a woman is like being in labor, because you're sitting there for 8 hours and you're constantly in pain. And I've spoke to other pregnant women. They're like, no, it's not the same. You can't compare it.
No, I was going to break in and say that I don't have any kids, but my imagination tells me that the labor has, oh my good, because we're giving birth to a whole new human being.
Right.
So to compare the two, to me, is way different. So I'm not going to feed in on that one. Although I don't know what that pain is. But a lot of people also tell me, as far as the body art, that the pain is helps them kind of get rid of some of their aggression that they have in their body, or worry or stress. Did you get any of that from the pain portion of your body art?
I would say I didn't get so much of a release from it. It was more so of a mental determination to get through it. So, so for me, it was just like, all right, this is going to hurt. Mentally preparing myself to go take the SAT. Hey, this is going to hurt. So I'm going to need to buckle down to get through this. And then after you leave a tattoo session, especially on your chest, neck, or back, the battle ain't over. You still got to go to sleep. You still got to put your ointment on it. You still got to shower after it peels, or if it itches, you got to. How can I scratch this without scratching it? You know what I mean? So it's a process. But for me, I took it as a way to let me focus internally and not focus externally. How can I put be so focused on the inside? Because I close my eyes and I just meditate while it's happening until my pain threshold is broken, which typically would happen after 4 hours. That's when I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah. Wow. So let's talk about the pleasure of it that you got out of it, because it's numbness, it's heat, it's someone concentrating specifically on you, for you. So I do see the pleasure concept in that thought process, but what was the pleasure for you?
So, and I just want to give you perspective on this. So, if I had a hot chick doing my tattoos, I probably would have been like, hey. But I shout out to CE in A-Town in Garden Grove, but I had a 250 pound Hawaiian guy leaning on my chest.
Wow.
Doing my design. So for them, they do these tattoos with whale teeth and they tap it. It's like a tap, 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 tap.
Oh, you do that one where it's that prison type hit. That's how they do it in prison, with a pen in the back of something. They hit, right?
On the islands, they don't have tattoo guns. They use whale teeth, and they use a stick, typically like bamboo. They put the ink on the teeth, and they just click it. And for him, he was like, I looked at him, I was like, man, you gonna give me that gun, that ink gun, right? Because I'm not doing that tap. It takes longer, and it's really hard, but that's their tradition. You know what I mean? And I love the traditional part of it. But for me, as far as the pleasure part goes, I would say the most pleasure I got out of it was at the end, when this guy ain't leaning on my chest or tapping or having that needle gun behind my ear. You know what I mean? On the back of my cranium right here, on the back of my skull, having getting up and looking in the mirror and just being like, oh my gosh, I look like something out of what's that movie called, Apocalypto.
That's funny. That's funny. So also the last thing that I want to talk about as it refers to body art is the actual art. How did you go about choosing what you would love to have on your body until eternity? Like, tell us what the meaning is of that first one. It looks, well, the one we can see, it looks like it's tribal, but I don't know. So explain to us what that art means.
So to explain to you, I got to give you perspective on what it is for the culture. So for the culture to have a tattoo like this, it is a representation of what's on the inside. And this is the way that I basically digested it when I asked them and showed them what I wanted, right? Okay. And they were like, you know, there's different spirit guardians, you know, and I love that. I love the idea, the woo-woo-y stuff. I love the idea of showing you guys a piece of me, but not physically on the outside, but something on the inside. So my tattoo actually represents the warrior. So the warrior has for me been a way that I've almost identified myself since as long as I can remember. This is an individual. I look at myself as an individual who's going to battle. And the thing that I'm fighting for in this war is the real me, which is hence my whole life, right? Yes. Hence my music, hence my brand. Everything it's all based around how close to my actual self can I present to everyone. So my tattoo, this is like the Superman symbol, right? It's actually shaped the same way. So it's a diamond and it stops right here at the bottom of my chest, like the Superman symbol, right? Oh,
okay.
And so if you're a comic book fan or anything like that, I was a big nerd. You know that symbol stands for hope, right? The S on their planet stands for hope. So for me, this is a cape that never comes off, right? This is a symbol that never comes off. So if I did with it. Yeah, so if I did the Cam Newton and I go like this, you guys are going to see this. And this is a representation of everything that I am based from the inside out, which is a warrior. You know, I'm a person that's going to go to war and fight and die for the things that I believe in. So if you're going to talk on this level and you're going to say things like this and you're going to make music about things like this, you got to live that too.
Yes, you do.
So for me to, you know, my audience and my fans and the listeners, the biggest thing is, how can I lead anyone if I'm not willing to take that walk too, or be there with you?
Yes.
So when on this level, when you ask what it means to me, it's a constant reminder, not only to myself, but everyone that's looking at me straight on, that I'm about everything that I'm saying, and I'm not just talking about it, I'm living it.
Right.
So
that's
what it is.
Appreciate that. So body art, it's the pain, it's the pleasure, and it's the art. So those three things together need to be taken in consideration for whatever it is that you put on your body, because it's not something that you can erase away. It's something that, like I said previously, in my case, mine reminds me of the beauty and the relationship and all the things my mother gave up for me to be great. And it does empower me. And when I do look at it, I am reminded of who she is and who I am and what my responsibility is. And although I will not get another one, that one right there is going to be the one that's going to carry me through. So you know what, Robbie? I think we burned that, we flipped that, and we showed that it's all about the pain, the pleasure, and the art. So let's take it off the grill, let the flames go, because we let it go up in here.
Yeah, we did.
Robbie, I would like to know, who is your top 5 hip hop rappers right now? Because it's so crazy what everybody feels about certain things. And it don't really, if you don't have nobody right now, say you don't have nobody right now. And give me 5 of your favorite hip hop artists. And tell me why.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you my top 3, and the reason
give me the top 3.
the reason why I can't do 5 is because they haven't dropped their music yet. So
okay.
So number 1 right now, and this is real controversial. People will say whatever they want, but for sure, a lot of people say that J. Cole was underrated, but off season was an album. No song skips. No, I'm gonna listen to it later. No. I love what J. Cole has done with not only exposing but calling the rap industry to a higher level. And I'm a part of that movement. So naturally, to come out with a body of work that expresses self-growth, that explains what it looks like from his first album to now, the process and how people change on you, stab you in the back, how the women are only interested in their own, like the women in the industry are only interested in their own upcomings and upbringings. Like I lived that, I've seen that lifestyle, lived a part of it. So to hear it on the track from such a revered artist, that's number 1. He's number 1.
Okay. J. Cole, we got number 1. Who we got rolling up for number 2?
This is like all the way in a different spectrum, but I gotta give it up to DaBaby. And the reason why I'm saying DaBaby is because not only did I grew up in South Carolina in Greenville. So he's in North Carolina. So my family knows his family. They know each other, Kemps, Pattersons, Robinsons. We all know someone who knows someone who lives there. Right. So this is even more controversial. Just recently, he had a lot of backfire from the industry for saying some remarks regarding different sexual identities and genders and stuff like that.
Yes.
And he lost a lot of fans. He lost a lot of sponsorships and things like that. But he posted a video it seemed like almost trying to fix what he said, trying to like, oh, I take it back. I didn't mean it that way. Yes. But he still got crucified. And it doesn't matter. And for me, the reason why he's my second one right now, it's not so much for his music, but it's for his ability to keep going. It's like as men, we got to understand, you asking for a lot. To what's the quote? To whom much is given, much is expected.
Yes.
Spider-Man, with great power comes great responsibility. You got all these things on your shoulder, and to think that you can just live however you want, or you got the persona of I don't care. Like you gotta man up to that level and know how to handle that. And I think right now he's handling it well. He's not done. He's not gone. He ain't off the planet, but he's learning to grow right now. And I think that's valuable. That's so valuable.
Yes.
And we all need to learn how to do that. So number 2, DaBaby. And last but not least, number 3.
Yes. Yeah.
Number 3 is going to be Lil Baby. 2 babies in there. Lil Baby.
Oh, yo baby, your baby. I was going to ask you about Lil Baby. So Lil Baby is your number 3 and why?
Lil Baby's my number 3. Mostly, okay, so he already knew Young Thug and he knew a lot of people in the industry before he blew up. That's another thing. People are like, nah, he made it out the mud, this and that. Everyone living in Atlanta made it out the mud. All right, like let's just start with that. But Young Thug told Lil Baby, I will pay you to be a rapper because I believe in you that much, right? And so me, I like people based on who they are. Their music is good. His music is good, right? But I'm more so looking at who you are. Because if I'm gonna listen to you, I want to know who you are.
Yeah, straight up.
And for him, his story, literally, if you ask me, was that someone believed in him enough to get him to believe in himself. And now Lil Baby is a household name.
Yes.
He's a household name. He's a young black millionaire that not only is pushing the culture forward, but has proved to everyone that it's not impossible.
Right. Regardless of where you come from and what you look like, because he doesn't look ideal for, a poster child for rap music, but at the same time, he's being himself. And again, when you're yourself, that's being authentic, and you can't be nothing else. I wanted to ask you about the quote that we talked about. We're supposed to be kings. They made us the enemy. Just tell me, just in a couple words, what that quote means to you, because it's your quote. So what do you mean specifically by that we were set up? Tell me what it means to you so our audience can know.
Okay, and in the short version, right? Because I tend to talk a lot. In the short version, that quote to me it's used in a way to show everyone that the identity that is given to you is not always the identity that's you. Okay. So everyone knows, if you know your history, right? I got to keep it short, but if you know your history, Mansa Musa was the richest black man in the world. He had 10 times more gold than King Solomon. And this is the man coming out of Africa. Okay. If we come from the same place to the most wealthy, we're talking about trillions of dollars. If we come from the same place, but now we're on America's Most Wanted, or our ancestors are living on the streets and we're living on welfare, and then to even switch it from that, people like Trayvon Martin and all the other names, yes, to be seen as a threat or the bad guy or the enemy or whatever they want to make us out to be. We were supposed to be kings, but now we're the enemy. And guess who adopted the role? We did. Yeah. It's almost like we got to be honest about that. Yeah. And I, like I said, a lot of people will argue about this topic because it's controversial. No. This is how we came up, or whoa. No. A human being can, depending on the environment that they're put in, will be a product of that environment. And they put us in an environment, you know what I mean, that was only giving us the opportunity to be what was so-called the American gangster. Right. And I don't care what anyone said. So by not having our fathers, because they're all locked up, by not having access to good education, we were set up. By not having the ability to even be healthy, like the food that we're getting, the quality of the food. Now, of course, we got mental issues. Of course, we don't know how to see anything to the end, because we don't have no dad. No one taught us how to do that. And I speak from that because I didn't grow up with my dad. So that's what I mean. I'm sorry I started going on a roll, but that's what I know how passionate you are about it. And that's why I wanted to ask you what that quote means. And lastly, Robbie, how can we follow your movement? How can people eat off of your knowledge and follow the great things that you're getting into musically? Let me know your Instagram, website, so that we can keep in touch with your growth. So it's very simple. I'm operating everything off of my Instagram because everyone is doing Instagram right now. Yeah. It's Robbie, ROBBY BETTS, and you'll find all of my content and everything that I'm doing right there. I have a link tree that sets up everything else. So link in bio. And this is the first part to a massive movement. So I know as this grows, I would love to come back and let you update you and be like, hey, this is Lisa, this is where we at now. Now that we got a whole bunch of momentum that's built up with it. Yes. It's a growing process. But Robbie Betts, at Robbie Betts, ROBBY.BETTS. That's where you can find me. All right. And again, to the quote, we were supposed to be kings. Right, Robbie? We were supposed to be kings. They made us the enemy. So that set up our conversation so nicely. Remember out there, we are kings and queens. Do not allow the setup to go through, because we haven't been put in the best conditions. We don't get the best jobs not because we're not smart, because they know we are kings and queens. So always remember that. And to my audience, thanks so much for rocking with us today. And thank you so much, Robbie Betts, for rocking with us and sharing your gift and knowledge and growth with us, because it really means a lot to me to have you. And like I said, you came to the yard, you've been in the yard, and you part of the yard. So we're about growing, and we're excited for you to keep moving forward. And make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that bell. I'm looking for subs, y'all. I'm looking for subs. So share, like, comment, keep the momentum going.
We are available on all platforms now. Check out our website at www.rappersinmybackyard so you can keep track of everything we got going on in the yard. And you know, I just hate ending the show, but it's time to go. So I look forward to talking to you next week. Sundays at 2. You know what we do. We was meant to be kings and queens. Remember that. We love you, and we out of here. Peace. Hang with me, Robbie.
We out. We out.
We out, man. We rap about relationships, entertainment, and music. You heard?